This morning is your morning. You are about to be going through and getting into your HSC exam. So congratulations, you've had quite a hard year this year, getting yourself through COVID, getting yourself through fires at the end of last year. This time last year there were fires everywhere, then it went into floods. So you've really had a hard time of it, and I wish you guys all the best as we go into this exam. Now, by way of my tips, some advice as you get up this morning and get ready for that exam that comes not too long now, is first of all, make sure that you actually eat a decent breakfast, okay? Don't just go and grab a packet of cereal. Don't start drinking a whole bunch of sugar. What you want to do is eat something that has some good complex carbs in it, and make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. I'd probably drink about a litre this morning when you wake up, or at least half a litre when you wake up, because often when we wake up, we're dehydrated. And if you're dehydrated, your brain won't work at its best. So eat some complex carbs so that you've got the energy to last the whole 3 hours, and make sure you're well hydrated. But of course, don't drink heaps just before you go into the exam, because I don't want you to need lots and lots of toilet breaks or be distracted by that need during the exam. Okay, so you've got to last that 3 hours. So don't go and buy any of those caffeinated sugary drinks that you might think keep you awake. Okay, they will not last the full 3 hours. You will crash halfway through the exam, and you will actually find it a lot harder to finish the back end of that exam. So make sure that you start off with just a good bit of health this morning and making sure that your brain's ready to go. My second tip is this morning, while you're eating your breakfast or just afterwards, just have a quick look through of your notes, of your summaries, of your, if you've got mind maps up or if you've got flashcards, take a quick look through those and make sure that it's just fresh in your mind. You're not necessarily looking to get it all correct this morning. It's just about getting your brain kicking into gear to start to think about PDHPE content. Now, obviously, you have to get to school this morning, so make sure you get there early. Okay, you want to make sure that you cater for anything like bad traffic, etc. If something goes wrong this morning, you want to make sure you're there with lots of time beforehand to settle your nerves and everything before you go in. So when you get to school, just relax, hang out with your friends, chat about something other than the exam. You don't want to build up your stress by starting to think, oh, what will be in the exam? What will this question be? What do you reckon? Do you think they'll ask about the auto charter? Just relax, talk about what you're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's Halloween, so make sure that you just focus on that to start with. And then about half an hour before the exam starts, go back to those notes. Go and sit by yourself somewhere. Go back through your notes or your flashcards or something. Again, just getting your brain kicked back into gear, ready for the actual HSC exam to start. So that's just to start with. Okay, they're your tips for how to make sure you're prepped before you get into the exam. Once you go in, obviously you go into your exams well before the exam starts. So once you're in there, just take a moment and give yourself a bit of time to just relax, okay? And one way to do this is just to use centered breathing. So sit down, kind of close your eyes or just focus on something somewhere else, make sure you're comfortable, and take some really long, deep breaths. So you want to count to at least about 7 seconds going in and up to 10 seconds as you breathe out. Do that a few times, probably for about 30 seconds to a minute. It'll help just reduce your heart rate and help reduce your nerves as you're entering the exam. And then, of course, if you're going to have, if you're someone who gets anxious in exams anyway, anytime you're starting to feel that anxiety actually, impact your thinking, just take that extra 30 seconds, stop, and take some deep breaths to calm yourself down. Okay, because you do know this stuff, you have learned all this stuff, and I'm sure that you can actually do it and do it well if you just slow yourself down. Okay, people are always in a rush with exams, but you actually have quite a lot of time with 3 hours. So take your time, make sure you calm yourself down. All right, once you're in and they tell you can go, right, the first thing you're gonna do is have your 5 minutes of reading time. So read through the entire exam and make mental note of the ones that are easy, but particularly of the ones that are gonna be hard, because what you wanna do is probably come to those towards the end of your exam when your brain has actually really worked itself through PDH content and is really making all the connections that you have in there already. So make sure that you go through that, make sure you read it really well and make note of those things. After your 5 minutes reading, if you have a bit of time still in that 5 minutes reading after you've done your reading and you've had a look, you could do some more breathing, help yourself calm down. But After that, once you're allowed to start answering questions with your multiple choice, okay, answer the easy ones. Okay, there should be fairly straightforward ones that are obviously right as you go through. But then as you get towards the harder questions in there, it might take you a few readings over those questions to work out what the correct answer is, or at least to give yourself a better shot with your guess. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is tick off the ones that are correct, right? The ones you know are really easy. You read the question like that one, that's the answer, 100%, right? Great. Then the other ones, when you're reading them, you're going to read them and go, okay, I don't know which one's right. So start by eliminating the ones you know are wrong. Okay, so just cross out the answers you know are wrong, and that will at least leave you with hopefully a maximum of 2 for you to then guess from when you're actually selecting your answer. And so you're increasing your percentage rate of getting that right from 25 to 50%, which is a great return on a little bit of work there. You also, when you start getting into your short answer questions, make sure you're really watching your time as you progress through there. You don't want to spend too much time there so that you're actually rushed for your extended response with your options. You want to work your way through those questions. Make sure you're providing just kind of enough information for the number of marks that it's worth. Okay, so if it's a 3-mark question, don't fill a whole page for it. It's only worth 3 marks. Just get to the point, make sure you're actually addressing exactly what that question is asking. Okay, but if it is an 8-mark question, you want to be writing at least a page, probably close to a page and a half to 2 pages, okay, for an 8-mark question. And that, of course, is with your options as well. When you get to a 12-mark question, you really want to fill at least one of those writing booklets that have 4 pages in it. You want to make sure you're really filling that up with plenty of good writing. If you've got big handwriting, you're going to need some extra work booklets as you go through answering those options. Okay, so you guys, I think you guys are going to do really well this year. I think you've had a hard year, you've had the hard times already, and I think now as you go into this exam, I think you guys are actually going to smash it. So I want to wish you all the best of luck as you go, and I will hopefully chat to you again on the other side. So come back here after the exam, let me know how you feel like you went, let me know which questions you thought were really hard. I won't be able to make a lot of comments about the questions just because of legal reasons, but once we are allowed to start chatting about the exam, I might answer some of your questions or give you a few facts anyway. But guys, it's been great. I hope you really enjoyed what I've provided for you, and I do wish you all the best for your exam today. So I'll see you later. I might reply to some of your comments in a little while. I've just got to go and take my kids to the pool for their swimming lessons. So see you later.